Hello everyone and welcome to another Challenger analysis. Today we are looking at Emdiel again, and not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited because Emdiel finally made the switch or the change to the Emax and Corrupting Potion start. So if you have a look right here, Emdiel did start with the Corrupting Potion. His runes, he goes for the exact same rune page now that I go for. So Arcane Comet, Manaflow Band, Absolute Focus, Gathering Storm with Cheap Shots and Ultimate Hunter. And he is with his favorite support, which is Arcane. So by the way, if ever in Champ Select somebody or the support asks you, hey Misfortune, what do you prefer, which support do you prefer? If you don't know, if you are not sure what's good with Misfortune, well, in Emdiel's opinion, Arcane is the best support for Misfortune, so you can just say Arcane to them. Morgana is also very good. In this case, she's on the opposing team. Morgana, Kai'Sa, nothing to scoff at. Kai'Sa, very good AD carry in the recent patch. And we're going to see how the lane phase goes. So he actually did not skill W level 1, but E, which I don't agree with. Yes, you can immediately start poking, but the enemy can easily outshove you because you don't have any attack speed, and so they get level 2 advantage. And that's always kind of iffy. See, now they are level 2. Emdiel and Arcane need to retreat because they couldn't push fast enough, and now they're getting zoned from the minion wave. And this would not have happened had Emdiel started W. So just to keep in mind, you see that there's no chance this minion dies in time. So yeah, now they can push it, but they took a lot of damage, and I'm not a fan of it. And level 2 he has his W, so he could have gotten this way quicker. Yeah, W level 1, way better. This is the prime example of why you why you put a point in W on level 1 and not in E. Even though it might seem frustrating, hey, I cannot proc my Manaflow Band, I cannot proc my Arcane Comet without a proper spell, but W is just so much better level 1. You should always put a point in W at level 1 with Misfortune. It's just superior. Alright, so due to all this, the enemy lane has now lane priority and could potentially assist their jungler. Also something to keep in mind. But Xin Zhao got the Scuttle Crab safely and is now proceeding to farm his jungle. Blue team slightly ahead. Riven got a kill and Victor got a kill, so a lot of pressure on Emdiel to carry. Oh, okay, the revenge kill. I was about to say, if the solo lanes fall behind, then this game needs to be solo carried by Emdiel, but we'll see how it goes. So he keeps on spamming E, which is fine. He could spam E probably a little bit more. How many stacks does he have? And also he took Q on level 3, which is a mistake in my opinion, because E is quite expensive as it is, and I think you're better off just taking another point in E on level 3. Yeah, you don't have your Q, but you are on a very limited mana pool at this stage in the game anyway, so having the extra damage and the extra slow from E might actually be better. Yes, Q is pretty much an additional auto attack, which is also slightly stronger. And it can help you farming, but so can W, and you should probably just do it with W. What Emdiel did there with the Q, you should just do it with a W because it's less mana. And yeah, now he Qs the Kai'Sa in the face, which I'm not a fan of. You should probably better just use your E. And okay, now he has the other point in E, so now it doesn't make a difference anymore. But just some slight optimizations you could go for. Obviously Emdiel is new to this build. He has been playing Dark Harvest for most of the last, or for the entire last season. Then it got reworked, and then it got nerfed twice, and then he made the change to Arcane Comet. Right, Arcane gets hit by Binding, not too big of a deal. As long as you as a Misfortune player do not get hit by Binding. As long as you as a Misfortune player do not get... Yeah, okay, that was correct English. As long as you as the Misfortune player do not get hit by Binding, everything is fine. Arcane, obviously some supports don't want to get hit either. Getting hit is never good, really. But for Arcane it's not too big of a deal because he's very mobile. As soon as it ends he can dash away if need be. And now Emdiel is very low on mana. And how can we see the stacks? Where can we... I don't think we can. Oh yes, we can. Okay, he has 0 stacks left. So he wasted a lot of his mana, which I'm not a fan of. He queued too many times. Yeah, he queued there again, did not even get the minion, did not get the bounce. It's just a huge mana trap for you in the early game. You're pretty much draining yourself out of mana for no reason. Especially at this level of play. People are just so good at dodging Q bounces. You need to be very, very good with them as a Misfortune player. So you need to have a good eye where to place them and where not to. Because it's a huge mana sink and you cannot afford that. You see right now he's He has a Manaflow band stack, or proc rather, ready, which he cannot proc because he doesn't have the mana for spells. So yeah. Mana usage in the early game, so crucial. Okay, so he uses his Q there, which is fine, but really you should be using the E. It triggers your cheap shot, it also guarantees the Arcane Comet to hit. Because with level 3, how much is the slow percentage? It's 44% already. Yeah, no way a Kai'Sa without boots can dodge this. So yeah. The only time I would really queue with this build in the early game is if the enemy is on their backline minions, so on the caster minions. I E them. They try to run backwards out of the E or out of my range, and then you can queue a weakened caster minion for a guaranteed crit. They cannot dodge it because of the E slow. This is the only scenario in which I would do it. Right, now they need to be careful because Ivan is bot side, and he is a rather strong ganker because of his root. But they do have vision, and they saw him retreat, so it's fine. They can stay up there. And the Emax in the early game really starts showing. The Kai'Sa is almost out of health and cannot really farm properly. And this is really what you need to do as a Misfortune against a hard-scaling hypercarry such as Kai'Sa. You need to deny the early game, so they do not even get the chance to scale. Yo! What was that? I want to see that again. So the Rakan turns 6. Misfortune does have enough mana for E plus R, 200. She needs 180 for that. So he flashes in. But the immediate spell shield, wow, that was crazy reaction. Oh my god, I can't believe nobody died in this situation. Again, pointless Q. Wasting mana, but doesn't matter, you need to go back in this situation anyway. You just wasted all your cooldowns, you're out of stacks, and oh, that's aggressive. Hyper-aggressive flash from the Kai'Sa. I don't agree with that play, yeah, it gets pinged in the chat. And I think it was a bad play too. Now flashes on cooldown, which is crucial information for the Jin Zhao. However, bot side jungle is now farmed, and probably top side is coming up soon, so he won't be that close, but he has a 5-minute window in which the Kai'Sa is very immobile. Right, so first back, Serrated Dirk plus Warhammer, and well, this is the thing. Emdiel, he now uses the same rune page and the same starting item as I do. But he still goes for his no boots playstyle, and the reason this is good, well, first of all, you need to be careful while fighting to not get out of position, because once you are out of position, you're pretty much dead. Alright, Xin Zhao ready for the gank, because Kai'Sa's flash is on cooldown. Yeah, but you really need to be careful, because any damage, any minion auto attack even, will knock you out of your W movement speed and your Ghost Blade passive. So you really need to have Ghost Blade active ready, or not get hit. These are your two options, else you just die. But the upside is also major, because lethality gets better the more and the sooner you get it, because armor is less effective the more you stack. Armor and magic resist are less effective the more you stack them, because well, let's say you have 100 armor, that negates 50% of physical damage. If you have 200 armor, that does not negate 100%. That's not how it works. It negates 66%, I think. So the first 100 armor basically doubled your effective health, while the next 100 armor just increased it by another, what? It's not 16%. Please don't hit me with that. It's, I'm bad at maths all of a sudden. I'm sorry, but it's significantly less. So, you take 33% damage, so it pretty much increases it by another 50%. So by 25%, yeah, there we go. From the buff from 0 armor to 100 armor is 50%, and so 50% damage reduction. And the buff from 100 to 200 is another 25% damage reduction. Does this make sense? No, it's a 33%. Forget it. Forget it. You can look it up at some nerd Wikipedia, League of Legends, whatever. You can do that. I'm not bothered right now. It's I cannot think straight. I cannot do maths. And there's the engage with the spell shield. And this might end bad for red team because of the Ivern. Wow. He slow rolled his ulti. And now the counter gank from the mid laner and the jungler. But nobody gets hurt. By that I mean nobody dies, which is crazy. In like Diamond solo queue. Well, this is, I think his account, this account is currently in Diamond 1 or whatever, but in low Diamond or high Platinum, where my accounts are, at least 2 people would have died in a situation like this. Oh my god. But the Morgana is very good. She spell shields so precisely. Oof, and the Kai'Sa did not know the Arcane was still there, but Morgana with the immediate spell shield again. But yeah, okay, I was about to explain, the more armor you have, the worse it gets, but it works the other way around. The early points of armor are so important that when you reduce the enemy armor with lethality, if you reduce it from 50 to 25, that's a huge damage increase, but if you decrease it further from 25 to 0, that's also just another 25 armor penetration, but this additional armor penetration increases it so much more because I just explained to you, the less armor you have, the more damage it prevents, and the more base armor you penetrate, the closer you get to true damage. Oh, alright, so as I've told you, I think I'm pretty bad at explaining right now, at least this kind of nerdy armor and calculation stuff, but point being, the more lethality you get as soon as possible, the better, and it gets exponentially better, and so skipping Boots and Misfortune makes a lot of sense, because you can stack lethality and a lot of it, and very early. So Boots is 900 gold, right? That's almost another serrated Dirk, and I'm talking about Switties right now. So Emdiel now rushed a Duskblade, which I think is iffy, because he does not have Eyeball Collection, so he doesn't get to stack that faster, and without Boots, I think you really need the Yomu's Ghostblade. But oh well, more power to him. And also 4 long swords. Probably a gold efficient buy in this situation. Yeah, he pretty much went back to lane with 0 gold. So that's why I went for it. Yeah. Spending more gold is obviously always better. And the 4 long swords all go into Ghostblade. This is a rather long lane phase. Turret platings have already fallen. But yeah, red team can, or the red side bot lane can really start shoving here. Xin Zhao is also bot side. So should the Ivern come, he is ready for the counter gank. He's already waiting. He's waiting for his opportunity. And Emdiel obviously is aware of that. Okay, so Rift Herald has been taken. Whoa. What a mad fight. We'll go over this in a second, but I just want to see how it plays out. Okay, I think Misfortune gets away here. Yeah, okay, I want to see that again. Alright, what happens is... okay, binding is on cooldown, which is important. And now Rakan, with the immediate engage, she cannot spell shield in time. She spell shields herself, noticing the Kai'Sa's already dead, and goes in with ulti and tries to do something with the Ivern. But since Kai'Sa is dead right off the bat, their main damage source is just not there. So Misfortune lives and Morgana dies as well. That was a crucial engage by the Rakan, and it was too fast for the Morgana to react to. So that was crazy good. Yeah, if you eat the casters when you have 4 points when you put 4 points into the spell, and Emdiel has already 5, you can just E and auto every minion once and they all die. So this build is surprisingly good at pushing, even though you don't have any attack speed. And interestingly enough, Emdiel put another point into his W. He now has 2 points in W. I don't agree with that. I think you should be maxing Q right away, because with this build you cannot take extended trades anyway, so you might as well double down on the burst damage. So the Q goes onto a lower cooldown and gets 20 base damage. Rift Herald is pushing down top lane, which might be an issue, but Emdiel just got super fat. He got 2 kills and a lot of farm and the tower. And now he has 2 completed items, so he has 2 complete lethality items, and this is where it gets crazy, because as I've explained to you, the more lethality you have, the more lethality you have early into the game, the better. And it just gets exponentially better. It's not just whenever or whatever. This is also the reason why Bloodthirster with the Bloodthirster build with lethality doesn't work, because you get the lethality too late, kind of. So it is not as oppressive as it is in this situation, where you just get it super early, even completely skipping boots just to get it earlier. Alright, so the pings are coming out. The plan now is you need this top lane pushed out, because you just lost 2 turrets to a Rift Herald, and you cannot allow the enemy Riven, who is good at split pushing. No teleport though, but okay, she's just dead. No teleport though, but still a good split pusher. You cannot just allow her to pressure this inhibitor for free, so you need to take this turret to be able to push the lane past the river and then roam. With this turret still alive, there's just too much pressure on the top lane, so you need to take it. But now Riven is dead, which is a nice window of opportunity for the red team to take this turret, and this is exactly what Emdiel plans to do right now. Getting all the farm. Ivan is on his way. We just saw him here, he walked through the control ward. But Emdiel should have Ghostblade ready. Yeah, Ghostblade is off cooldown, so he can't play as though he had boots, which is important. But now it's just super slow. Okay, now Ghostblade's in. He didn't see the Kai'Sa in time. Oh, he might die here. Yeah, he's definitely dead. He didn't see the Kai'Sa coming from the right. He probably tunnel visioned on what was going on there. Just kind of unfortunate. Yeah, you could definitely see her walking through the bush. And he just walked straight past her while she E'd into him. That was kind of a crucial mistake, but happens. Even to the best of us. Yeah, now he has even another serrated Dirk. Crazy damage, but you don't deal damage when you're dead, so you really need to be cautious with your positioning. Ooh, nice block. Oh, the Riven. Oh my god, the Riven. Oh my god. Yeah. Riven with Essence Reaver. She will get away, definitely. Ivan protects her. Alright, but now, we'll see. Obviously Rakan is also quite useful, because Riven cannot just blindly... Well, with a spell shield, this is where it gets tricky. If Morgana spell shields the Riven correctly, and we have seen a number of good spell shields from her already, then Rakan will not be able to peel her off of the Misfortune. Also Baron is on the map soon. which puts a lot of pressure on the top side. Makes it even more important that they got this tower earlier. Right, Emdiel trying to get the red buff, which is nice. And this mid tower is also quite huge. It's, well, as long as both are on the map, it's fine. But the first mid tower that falls is a huge advantage for the opposing team, because it opens up the jungle. So both teams are definitely trying to take the enemy mid tower right now. These towers don't matter too much. Well, here both of them already fell, which is a big deal, but as far as the outer turrets are concerned, this tower is the most important, because it's basically a giant ward blocking off this and this jungle entrance. So you cannot be invaded as easily. Alright, the Xin Zhao engages. Misfortune probably looking for a good ulti. Alright, not even necessary. The enemy just... or ran away. Okay, the flash... oh, wow. Alright, but they need to respond. They need to respond to the Riven. That's the big deal, and they just simply don't do that. This is exactly what I meant. You cannot really... she is a good split pusher, and you cannot really just give her all your objectives. Fortunately, it's quote-unquote only a top inhibitor, so if bot inhib is down, the enemy immediately gets Baron, because super minions shove in, you need to stop them, you need to draw attention to the bot lane, which is the farthest away from the Baron pit, and then you just concede Baron to the enemy team. But with the top lane inhibitor down, you can push top lane, and you have enough people top lane to immediately rotate to Baron. So it's not as bad. Could be worse. But now Irelia really needs to start mirror the Riven. She's good at farming, so the supers should, even though it's only minute 22, the supers shouldn't be too big of an issue for her. Alright, Misfortune now with Lord Dorms, which is base armor penetration. It's not bonus armor penetration, it's total armor penetration, so this is why it's very good in this build. And still sitting on another accelerated Dirk, so pretty much almost dealing true damage to everyone. Let's have a look, what do we have in items? Yeah, no major armor items in the enemy team, so Misfortune will destroy anyone she ults. No, she only the only thing Emdiel needs to do is find a good ulti. Fingers crossed. Wow. Okay. Ult forced out to save the Arcane here. Unfortunate. The E was kind of poorly placed. With a well-placed E, the Victor would have definitely died. But yeah, you kind of have to predict the enemy movement when you E. Sometimes they dodge it preemptively, and you kind of outplay yourself. But that happens. This might get sticky. Riven is not there, so red team might be able to take this. But this is super... okay. Wait, was Ivan alive? Yeah, he was. But he gets zoned off, which is a crucial part. As long as they zone off the Ivern, he cannot smite steal this. Yeah, well, he got in range though, so this was just a very iffy 50-50. And now they need to back. At least two of them. Because Riven will take another inhibitor if unanswered, and also these are running down the Nexus turrets. Alright, so red team got the Baron through a smite 50-50. Or was it? Which level? Level 14, level... Can I see that? When he's alive, maybe? Yeah, but even if Xin has level advantage here, Baron takes so much damage in such short amount of time. Ivan was definitely at least one level behind. So yes, Xin had the strongest might, but with like 6 people hitting Baron, it really doesn't matter because HP drops so quickly that it's still essentially a 50-50 in terms of smites. Yeah, I don't like 50-50s like this, but this is really what it boiled down to in this situation. And Red Team really needed to hurry. They were under so much pressure because of the Riven split push. On the other hand, though, had Riven just been there, she would have cleaned up everyone. Well, I'm not a top laner, so cannot really tell you what's correct in from the Riven's point of view. Oh, wait, I want to see that. How it develops. Alright. First of all, Emdiel items. So he's working on his Edge of Night, which is fine. Edge of Night is very important in this build because you have your ulti as your main source of damage. But let's see what happens. So binding off off cooldown or on cooldown. Okay, Victor just gets caught. Yeah, that was dumb. You cannot afford to do that as a mid laner. You're still a carry, or you're still supposed to be a carry. Let's put it like this. And when you're down one player and the enemy has Baron buff, you're about to lose some structures. And also Aurelia can easily just shove top lane, even against supers. Not only does she a good job at pushing, but she also has Baron minions with her. Okay, now they want to rotate top lane, take this turret. I like it, it's a good call. It's way easier to take a tier 2 than to take an inhibitor turret. So this is basically just free gold on the map. Yeah, if they can take this inhibitor, that would be great. But depending on how this fight goes, this unfortunate. The ult didn't do much. It missed for the most part. Oh, Riven goes in. She immediately drops dead. Okay, what? Yeah, she jumped into 5 people, but still, I thought she was spell shielded, right? Okay, the ult still does a lot of damage to Ivern and Victor, and they pretty much need to leave the fight. So the ult was, even though it didn't kill anyone, it did a good job at zoning. So now they can push while outnumbering them. Okay, Riven jumps in, no spell shield on her. Okay, that's the issue. Had Morgana spell shielded her, that would have been huge, but yeah, just 5 people attack her and she dies immediately. That was a little bit too over-eager. I think this should be the game. Yeah. Right, Riven threw this away. And Victor also. The solo laners, even though they did a good job earlier, so the blue team solo laners that is, even though they did a good job earlier, they misplayed majorly there. Yeah, this is just the game. Yeah, happens. I mean, especially in the mid game, or in this case it was almost late game. If you get caught out stupidly like this, then you have no chance at defending, especially not against Baron minions. Oh well, I hope you learned something about armor, about lethality, about game plan, and in case you're new, this channel has daily Misfortune content. Sometimes I upload other champions as well, but I've seen, I think 2 days before I uploaded the first episode of Unranked to Diamond playing Kai'Sa, and this video has comparative, in comparison to my other videos, almost no views. It has like 500 views or whatever. So you don't really seem to be enjoying this. And you would much rather see Misfortune stuff. So this is why I'm giving you more Misfortune. And I think there will be a Misfortune video tomorrow as well. We'll see what it is, but stay tuned for that. And I hope you have a nice day. Bye!